So I've got a bowl of oats here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a few things. I'm going to add in here a handful of raisins. Let's whack those all in. Whatever you've got to hand, mix that around. Put in a couple of chocolate chips if you're feeling particularly generous. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add in a jar of applesauce. So this is last year's applesauce. Well, it's last September apparently I made that. And that's a 370 WEC jar there. That's, I find, it's just the right size for sauces and stuff. I'm going to mix that through, help that bind all together, and that will help hold. So the next thing we do is we get two of these. I'm just going to put a nice base layer in. So I'm going to use about half of my mix there. And I'm just going to push that down until it's really nice and firm. So you can chuck anything you like into this. You can put in some spices, you can add sugar and butter if you like. You can put in whatever dried fruits you've got in the cupboard, if you've been dehydrating or if you've bought a load. You can chuck in absolutely anything. It's quite nice with dried blueberries. As you can tell, again, I haven't measured any of this. I can try and work out a recipe if you guys really want, but I tend to just eyeball it and wang it all in. Which is how I've ended up with two this time. So what I'm going to do now, because I find they're just a little bit boring, a little bit bland, is I like to whack in some jam. So I've got some plum butter that I made, and I'm just going to put in a little layer. These are the 290 WECs. I find them perfect for jams and small amounts of stuff. I'll spread that around. Normally I'd do this a little more sparingly, I must admit, but what can I say, I'm feeling indulgent today. Although they might not hold together quite as well with too much jam. I like using particularly the plum in these, or some nice tart raspberry, just because it adds that tartness to it, which I find works particularly well in this sort of thing. I'm going to add in the other half of my mix now. So you can chuck in absolutely whatever you've got in the cupboards to this. If you've got some nuts, chuck some nuts in, some seeds, absolutely anything. It's a real useful way of just chucking in whatever you can to get it into the kids. They're ideal for lunchboxes. They take, as you can tell, minutes to prepare. It's only taken quite so long because I've done a ridiculously large batch. But I can make these now, and these will last through the week for all sorts. Making sure I push down nice and firmly. I'm not too worried about them being pretty. I just want them to be nice and dense so that they hold together better. Now, I've got no idea if these exist as a thing. I've just sort of made it up to be a useful way of getting something easy and healthy to snack on that's not absolutely chock full of all sorts of rubbish. So that's those two done. You can pretty them up, you could sprinkle something on top. I can't be bothered. But as I've made two, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a little experiment. So normally I just stick them in the fridge. I'm going to try baking one for 20 minutes or so and see what effect that has. So, worth a go, isn't it? So I'm going to put this one in the oven now. I just got tapped up for a spoon of jam by a toddler. So I put the other one in the oven. I'm going to stick this one. I'm just going to put another one of these dishes on top in the fridge and leave it to set for a while. And we'll see what they're like afterwards. See you then. And here are our two flapjacks from earlier. So this one is still quite cold. I've just got this one out of the fridge. This one was in the oven for about 20 minutes. I've given it a couple of hours to cool down. And we're going to see what, if any, difference there is between them, because we may as well. So I'm going to cut into this one. And across. And we'll do the same with this one. Like that. And I'm going to gently go around the edge. So this was just in the oven at about 180. And this one has just gone straight in the fridge. So straight off, this one, the fridge one, seems to be a little bit crumbly, but it's actually holding together fairly well. If you can see, look, I'm going to wave that around. And this one, let's do the same. So this one is holding together a bit better, still won't eventually, look. But that's fine. You know, perfectly, you can hold that. You can eat it. Yum. Yum. And the same with this one. Hold it. You can bite it. Somehow I think that one's a little tastier. I'm not sure why. So there we go. That's another way that you may not have thought of to use up a glut of jam. Perfect for school lunchboxes too. Nice and filling, and they'll get you through the day. Enjoy!